Welcome to Stargate SG-1 for the first time, still not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Aiken, and I'm watching Stargate SG-1 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I am watching Stargate SG-1 for the first time, looking for messages in this show, but really it's like my 47th time through the series. Jeff and I are two veteran Star Trek podcasters who joined forces to bring you Babylon 5 for the first time, and we had so much fun doing that, we said, hey, let's try it with a different show, and, well, that's what we're doing here with Stargate.
So whether this is your first time through the gate or your 47th, whichever one, we invite you to come along on this journey with us as we give what I've been told is a pretty good show, Stargate SG-1, the for the first time treatment. For me, since this is my first time, I'm going to be experiencing the show as it unfolds. That's my job. Bringing you everything, all the reactions, all the experiences, all the questions that you probably had on your first time experience as well.
And in the middle of that, we, and by we, I mean I, mostly, although Jeff's going to help me out, are still going to be looking for those sci-fi messages, the good sci-fi messages, stuff that sci-fi as a genre is uniquely positioned to do. Those things where you hold up a mirror to society, give us a real good, ugly look at ourselves. Those things that tell us how to be better human beings, or maybe even just give us hope that things are going to be better in the future. We're going to be looking out for those as they may crop up through the show.
You know, Brent, there's a thing we love on these for the first time podcasts, and that's games.
Yes, I love games.
Love our games on here. We are going to play a classic on this one. We call this one the Rule of Three. This is us doubling down on not being a Star Trek podcast, because the Rule of Three limits us to 3 references to Star Trek per episode.
That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3. No substitutions, exchanges, or refund.
Because if you didn't limit us, it could get out of hand.
Yeah, it has in other conversations we've had. So you're welcome for the game. But what you're not welcome for is what you're going to hear when we do make one of those references, which is...
It's always so ear stabbing every time.
It gets right into your brain.
Yes, it does. But you know what? There is another sound drop that we have that is way more pleasing to the ear. This is something we're adding for the Rule of Three for our Stargate show. That's right. Anytime we make a Babylon 5 reference, you're going to hear, oh, yes. And those references are unlimited, Jeff, because you never can have too many Babylon 5 references.
It's true. All right. I can't wait. I want to get into this next episode. All I know about this is the name, right? This is Emancipation. I don't know anything else. I am expecting this to basically be a version of the Gamesters of Triskelion, where the original series Star Trek episode, and it doesn't count as a reference because it's the prediction, but they're going to go to some planet. This is going to be the first away mission that we see them do, and they're going to free some people that are basically doing gladiator fights for some big shot golds.
I'm really glad that you said gladiator fights, Jeff, because that's going to bring us around just to a quick note. You did say this is the episode Emancipation, originally aired August 8th, 1997. Jeff, I've got 2 notable guest stars that I want to make you aware of going into this. And the first one, you said big fights. The first one, both of these, by the way, are Babylon 5 crossovers.
Really?
Yeah, these are both Babylon 5 crossovers. The first one is a guy named, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, so I apologize in advance. I'm going to do my best here, but you might know who I'm talking about here, Jeff. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
He was in Convictions. He was the
oh my God, how do you know that? How do you pull that right off of the top of your head?
Because he's incredible. He's been in everything. The guy is awesome. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So good. I wanted him to be a regular.
Marishi was, we wanted him to be a regular, and he has never shown up since.
But we get him again here, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
One.
All right. I'm going to see if you know who this one is, though, Jeff. Again, speaking of good, fun, Mortal Kombat stuff.
Feeling the pressure.
A great guest star, Soontek O or rather, I should say, Osuntek.
Right? Because, well, and if you don't call him the right thing, you're going to face him in the Muta-do. Because he was the guy who ran the Mutari.
You're going to face him in the Mutai.
The Mutai. He's the Muta-do.
He is the Muta-do.
I always get those
mixed up. This is the Muta-do.
I love the episode, and I can't ever get those right. That's TKO, baby. That's the best.
Your favorite episode in all of Babylon 5.
It will be ranked number 1 in the final.
That's right. So we've got Morishi and the Muta-do.
Wow, how cool is this?
Yeah, he's in this one. The makeup's a bit different.
Okay,
just so you know.
I would hope so.
All right. Well, let's jump into today's episode of Emancipation. Hey, listen, if you guys are just joining us for the first time, the way this episode works, Jeff and I are going to watch this episode for the first time right now. Yeah. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to get the reaction video of Jeff and I reacting. So this is going to be fun. It'll be the reaction video. It'll be all kind of cut up. It'll be really short. And if you want to see the full unedited reaction, you can head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Babylon5 first, and you can actually catch the full uncut episode as Jeff and I are reacting to it. Not the episode, Jeff and I reacting to it.
Right. Yeah. Very, very important to be clear about that.
Yes.
If
it's us, it's not that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You're watching us. There happens to be an episode going, but we're reacting to it. If you're one of our great listeners on a podcast app like Good Pods or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything like that, you're about to have this weird jump. We're going to skip to the end and you'll hear the entire conversation that we have about the episode. So if you want to catch it, come over to YouTube, see the reaction, or hit us up on Patreon to see the whole thing. So
otherwise, we'll see you guys, the audio folks, we'll see you guys after the episode. And everybody else, let's jump into the episode, Jeff.
Let's do it. It's the ripple of the gate.
I love that you know that that's what that is.
I pay a lot of attention to this, even though I'm taking notes.
Oh, look, it's northwestern Canada. It's odd.
What a mess. This temple
Canada
was destroyed long ago.
I hear something. Sounds like dogs.
Oh, yikes. How did German dogs end up on this other planet?
They are German dogs, aren't they?
I think so. Hey, we got a great part for you. When you come audition, all we're going to need you to do is run and get chewed up by some dogs.
Thanks be to you. But forgive me.
They speak English.
And also to you.
Shavadai?
The people of the steppe.
Oh, perfect.
You will be doubly
Good.
welcome in my father's camp.
This is Teal'c. And this is Dr. Carter. The dogs
When you look at Teal'c, does that thing on his head cause a reaction for you in any way? We should probably get that out in the open fast.
That emblem is like creeping down his forehead right now. Like it's a little too in between his eyes.
Growing out of my nose, or
He looks really upset.
It's not your nose that they're growing out of.
No,
Her eyes are up here.
I can't look at you.
Colonel, I think these people are Mongols. This is good news?
Daniel, find out what I did wrong so I can fix it.
You're born.
No, let them go. He's
Are
right.
who you are.
We'll just take her with us and go.
Jeff, I'm curious while the intro plays here. Is this episode feeling familiar at all to you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
I already have a question, and I'm hoping it gets answered. But
Okay. What is the question, just so we know? And I'm not going to tell you any answer until after the episode. What's the question?
So they just they pulled people from countries and put those people in countries on planets, like they kept racial purity going or something. I would think in all the mess of stuff, things would get mixed up.
We'll talk about
as
that.
they filtered.
Let's talk about
Terrafan.
that after the episode.
Yeah, that's what I told you.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
I'm a pro. I'm a professional.
And you came to this conversation. Oh, I recognize that voice.
The Muta-do. My name is Onsuntek.
My son, you did not return. I feared you were dead.
It's a great voice.
Speaking of voices, that's also the voice of Mulan's father.
Grieved
Really?
stranger. What manner of weapon is that?
It's a firearm. It
One
shoots
that will
like
kill
your bow
you.
shoots an arrow.
She's
a lot
Better than
faster.
your bow and arrow.
dies.
So, no, she saved my life.
If a woman saved a life, hers cannot be taken. You're my guests. If you will travel this country, you must learn our ways.
That's fair.
I'm thinking we should just go back while we're ahead.
Or you
If we
should.
learn their
fair,
customs,
too.
we'll be okay.
Like,
Is that okay
It's an
though?
incredible opportunity
Do what?
to study an
Is that
ancient
okay,
culture
though?
up close.
Until you learn the way of their culture and what happens there. I'm not
It's
saying
like
it's okay.
WWE.
Let me make it clear. I'm not saying it's okay. But
Like I do know when WWE goes to Saudi Arabia, they have women. The women wrestlers go, but they have escorts the whole time, and they have to. They can't drive, all that kind of stuff. I'm not familiar with Mongol culture, but this has a strong Muslim feeling. Women covering
Mongols
and
who settled in Persian China adapted
having really
to the
strict
local
rules.
customs, but there was one tribe that, Chagatai, that kept the traditional life of the steppe nomad. Maybe these Shabadai are their descendants.
it's kind of cool to have that out, you know?
a little bit,
Please sit.
but also no progress for 900 years or whatever.
Well, it's
Good, because I still don't
Off on
understand
its
what
own
happened
thing.
out there.
The old laws weigh heavily. Soon, the old laws will no longer serve us. Trade will one day replace war. This
He's a
is the
visionary,
future.
progressive.
We have
Drugs of unheard of power.
Yeah, let's do that.
Drugs of our own.
I will show you. Follow me.
I'm afraid
That didn't sound
you
creepy
cannot go
at all.
until you are properly attired.
I used the medicine on this wound from a fire arrow in a recent skirmish. From the moment I began treatment, there was no pain.
This could be an anesthetic we haven't seen before. We should take
that'd
some.
be a
think so.
baller anesthetic, dude.
Yeah, right. Dude, that'd be a cool thing, right? You get this whole interstellar trade thing going. Just the drug trade. I mean, the pharmaceutical trade alone would be fantastic.
Just remember, you were asking about no advancements. That
Daniel,
Yeah.
You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen.
Let's take a minute to go out of our way to objectify her with every guy staring her down.
Look. We
So
don't have
is-
to objectify her, but Amanda Tapping is a beautiful lady.
She is. Dude playing Tilk's a beautiful man. We're not having everybody stare him down.
Dude, Christopher Judge is a beautiful man. You are
Like
not
legit.
joking
I
about
can't
that.
move, I can't walk.
I don't know. It kind of works for me.
It's you, it's
Jack. You're married, Daniel.
Thing is, though, like he's coming at it from a different perspective. He's making fun of her.
Yes.
They're like
Jack is?
ogling her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack's just like,
one of the most classic workers,
They're stunned
playing.
by her beauty. I'm going to go with they're stunned by her
All
beauty.
things
okay,
considered.
there you go.
In view of the fact that you all get to go to this party tonight and I get to stay in this yurt that smells like rancid yak butter, none taken. I'll just get a good night's
I'm
sleep.
curious
Better
now.
next time.
Apparently, she's not in a yurt. She's in something else that's not a yurt. I don't know what the language is to be able to tell you the difference, but I did read like she said the wrong word there.
Oh, this is where things start to go south. Oh. Oh, there's a direction this can take. I really hope it doesn't.
So they killed Kowalski in the last one, and they
They're gonna kill Sam in this one. I'm hoping they're sending her to go fight in the gladiator pits. Something tells me they're not,
We're
though.
about ready to
Oh no. Oh no.
go.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
I will trade you.
I'm a human being, not property.
There you go.
Where we are going, the men are not as tolerant as my father. Be warned.
So for a second there, I thought Muta-do like fell in love with her and kidnapped her because he was going to marry her or something. But this is worse.
Geared up and ready to move
it's
out.
Muta-do's kid.
Yeah.
It's Muta
Talk to
Jr.
Miguel first. This could be another misunderstanding.
Muta-2, Electric Boogaloo.
The hell with culture. A member of my team has been neutralized. That's a hostile act.
How is it that you always come up with the worst case scenario?
I practice. Okay, Dad. What's going on here?
Women are valued highly for trade. Foreign women, most of all.
Can you help me track them?
I will
No
give
promises.
you horses and guide you myself. My son has betrayed me as well as you.
Muta-do's legit. These guys had the look of, I'm not being paid to be here. Be an extra, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Just don't say anything.
There. Right? Yeah.
There he is.
Shut. Morishi.
Mortal Kombat!
Dude, he just looks so badass.
He's got that permanent like stank face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Shavadai, see the son of my enemy.
What? This is escalating quickly.
But you speak of a beautiful man. Like, aside from the stank face, that dude's got a beautiful
Risk
body.
your head coming here.
Like, if I had that body, I would take my shirt off every chance I got.
I would never wear a shirt.
Oh, I'd be full on William Shatner in every episode.
Right. And I would say, you're welcome.
I don't belong to this man.
And I would see her.
No.
Every now and then I get a little closer.
Did you see the smoothness with which he
Right.
got up, grabbed the thing, walked right up to her?
Good for her. That's a power play.
She's not just kowtowing what's happening here.
Yeah.
She's not just submitting. You know what she's not? She's not the damsel in distress.
At all. Yeah,
Sam
she's got
has
her own
strength, her own power here. And you can sense every moment of it.
I think it was that moment as she was turning where she's like, wait, he's not going to kill me. I'm worth too much.
Right?
So name it. Gold, horses, weapons.
Your daughter.
Trade a girl for a girl?
Would trade a woman for another woman?
Oh, sorry.
It's not just another woman.
No, she is my daughter. She will marry a chieftain, the desert warlord Chimaka.
Ah, that's encouraging.
The offer for the woman is 300 weights of gold. Take it or die. Either way, the woman is mine.
Well, then you should probably take it. And feel like an idiot for thinking you could pull this off.
I mean, but he's a young boy in love. How stupid is he?
Very. Hormonally stupid.
Yes.
That's what he is. Yeah. There it is.
Look at how she took that hit.
Yeah.
She took that like a champ.
She's literally like, that's it? That's it? That's how you take it. If somebody backhands you.
horses.
And we heard stories about the Shavadai women. Mongol women might have been the legendary Amazon.
We do not speak of it.
Why have not the laws been changed?
Some
They
say
might come back.
They will return. I think it is an excuse for men to have their way. Among the Shavadai, even the
He's not
noblest
wrong.
man is chief.
Right?
Among his women.
You got to wonder about a lot of laws on the books today, you know, and why they're still there.
Father will kill you.
Come away with me. Tonight.
Yeah, that'll go well. He'll never guess who took her. You know, people generally really like that when you just grab their face like that. Like that. People are really into that.
But it looks good on TV.
Yeah.
Well, where you come from, you must have done something.
I used my
In my
brain.
world, I am a warrior and a scholar. I do the work of men.
You what?
Well, she's trying to talk to him.
Boy,
She's blowing his mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
I raid and burn the tents of my enemies.
I'm actually hearing Khal Drogo in my
Because of
head.
that fear.
Oh, right.
Jason Momoa,
Yeah.
right?
I
From
have the
Game of
allegiance
Thrones.
of 22 tribes.
But you have to sell your daughter off to make it 23?
How would you like to
That's how you do allegiances.
with dusk will rise
In all of history, that's how allegiances
That's,
happen.
it still happens today in some cultures.
Yeah. I'm not justifying it. Let me be very
Sorry,
clear.
I'm
I'm not
shutting
justifying
down.
it saying it's good. Just don't act surprised.
teach you
Yeah.
how to be a woman.
I'm pretty sure she knows exactly how to be a woman.
Pretty much just if she exists. There you go.
See, she looks like she's cutting vegetables. What she's actually doing is making shanks.
Yeah.
Look, she's putting that up there blade down. She's going to reach in there and like grab the blade,
Ouch, ouch.
right?
Also, she's not going to bend over and stab herself. So,
I like that she still thought enough to put the thing over her
Yeah.
face.
oof.
Actually, you know what? You know what? Honestly, in real world, what that probably is, they can put the stunt rider and be able to do a close up with the mask on. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's good. You can actually see the stunt person post off the saddle to go up. That was a good bump.
These were responsible for you. Now, because of you, they will be punished.
If you need to beat a woman to feel like a man, try me.
Oh, man. She is awesome.
Get it.
My father's a good man. He never mistreats a woman unless she has done something wrong.
How can you defend him? He's packing you off to marry a total stranger.
I have no choice.
And you never will be until one of you says no.
That's what it takes. She says no, that can inspire others.
But is Sam, as an outsider now, coming in and messing with the natural development of their culture? It's the Prime Directive.
I was going to say, I don't know that they have one of those.
The Prime Directive here. You know, Jeff, there are sometimes I watch the show and I go, I don't remember what happens here.
Oh, yeah?
And I don't remember what happens here. I don't remember this. I don't remember Sam setting anything on fire. I'm pretty sure that would go out. So how well did running away work out for Sam a few minutes ago?
Yeah, not at all. You know what this reminds me of right here? This might be our last one. But this is totally chieftain guy in Code of Honor arguing with Picard over Tasha Yar. But I love her.
Younger,
but she's beautiful.
Fit to bear many sons.
Get it
a woman of power for our people. Cartier is our chieftain. Our people need her.
Kiddo, you have nothing I want.
Oh, yeah?
There you go. I have weapons.
Again, Prime Directive. He's going to give him firearms. I'm not saying they should have Prime Directive in Stargate. I get it. But, like,
there should be some
basic. You don't give them
5 more rounds in that clip. Time to go.
No, that's a little smart, but I mean, it's not like they can't reverse engineer it. Or
but that's
whatever.
5 rounds.
Yeah. Also, you take that second and you blast the thing in the tent. Maybe just blast Marishi instead.
You're a leaf. I don't blame you for what Abu did.
Is suffering the madness as I did when I was young.
We all did.
It's what they call love.
Oh, the madness is love.
Hormones. No, I don't know that that's love.
As gallons of hormones coursing through a body.
Through a teenage body. Yeah.
Hey, Brent, can you come to the front of the class and show them how you came up with that answer to the question on the chalkboard? No, I can't stand up right now.
You must help me.
What happened? Where's Naya?
She came to me, but before we could make our way, her father caught us. Now, if you don't help me, she will be stoned to death.
Turgan is compelled to uphold the law.
We have to go back.
Blind
now.
adherence to the law.
Negative. We have the right to interfere in their customs or reinterpret their laws.
Yes. Maybe you guys aren't getting this, but they are about to kill this teenage girl simply for being in love with this boy.
Not actually for being in love with him, for trying to run away.
Right? Yeah.
Actually,
that's the thing.
Now, there has to be another way. Miguel, what about the old laws?
This is where we need Sinclair going, hey, give me the rule book.
Yeah, uh-huh.
There must be a law.
It is kind of ridiculous. Hey, maybe there's this thing. Oh, yeah, there is.
I've never seen a stoning or been a part of a stoning or anything like that. But I always assumed the rocks were a bit bigger than what these guys have in their hands.
From what I understand, they're really not. And it takes a while.
How tired does your arm get flinging those stones, though? If it takes a while, you know?
But you get a group of people, you know.
Oh, he said he forgives her.
Oh. So we're good, right?
Stoning may be challenged by another chieftain.
There is no such law.
There is.
Oh, yeah. He's got the book in his head.
Right.
I will not fight a cripple. So unless there's another chieftain who will challenge my decision.
Jack O'Neill. No, Sam. They said that she's a chieftain. Yeah.
Challenge it.
Hey, remind me in that episode, Code of Honor, who did the fighting?
Yeah, that was Yarina and Yar.
Yar did the fighting?
Here's your chance to shut me up once and for all.
I will abide by the wisdom
Dude will as
of
well.
the spirits.
That movie ruined that word. You just can't.
Right.
You can't.
It's like Nutty Professor ruined the word moist. I just said that word and like 1,000 people out there just went,
You
ugh.
don't think I can win?
Sure I do. I assume you've had at least some basic hand-to-hand training?
Yeah, level 3 advanced.
You'll do fine.
See, here's the thing. I actually believe Jack when he says that. He's like, "Oh, you've had level 3. You'll be fine."
He's like, "You're good."
It is a fight to the death.
Well, that's different.
Hey, Tasha's fight. That was to the death, right?
That was to the death. Except they did that fight on a jungle gym. Because why not? It's good camera work on this. No one makes me bleed my own blood.
I want to see that Brazilian jiu-jitsu kick in.
Yep.
Like ground grappling and everything.
Oh, here it is. Oh. Tilk's
Hey,
like,
Jeff,
kill her.
I don't want to.
That Tasha Yar fight, who won?
I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, Tasha Yar.
It was to the death, right?
Yeah, but no one.
Who died?
Yeah, no, well, Yarina, but then came back.
My lord, there can be no war between us.
And me?
I like how in shows they can take the blade, stick it against their skin, and then push it further in.
And there's nothing.
And still not cut them. Yeah.
I like the look on Tilk's face when she had the knife in his throat. He's like, why didn't you just kill him? Like, I don't understand.
So you think this new anesthesia will be a miracle drug on Earth?
Well, if it is, I bet
I like this ADR. This
Yep.
Where it came
oh
from.
so obvious ADR.
Guess I'm gonna have to cancel that Oprah interview.
Oprah.
What is an Oprah?
What is an All right, Jeff, you have just watched, we have just watched Emancipation for the first time through two different lenses. Jeff, you get to go first. This was your first true watch, or your true first watch.
True first watch.
Or
Yeah, first
however
true
we
watch.
say it. Whatever. Although you may actually get the feeling you've seen this episode before. Take us through it. What'd you think?
Yeah, so for our listeners who didn't get to see the reaction, it was about a little over halfway through. I'm like, is this just Code of Honor with almost less of a story impetus for everything? Like, I'm just gonna compare the two, right? So Code of Honor, it's not that I watched that a lot or anything. I watched it for Starfleet Leadership Academy, so I kind of have a memory of it. But there was they were transporting a vaccine to a planet. There was a pandemic, and it was the only thing that could save everybody, right? So high stakes stuff, and they end up here, and the people stole the vaccines, and so basically they were holding Yar hostage to, so like there was an entire planet was on the line, and then it led to Tasha Yar and Yarina, who was supposed to go doing this big fight and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, it was like, hey, yeah, we treat women really horribly, and they're basically chattel, and so we're gonna trade and do it. And if we don't save Sam tonight, then she's gonna have really, dirty stuff go on, and we can't have that. So let's use that as the impetus to go and have two women fight to the death without the death, and not, one of them in this case wasn't a woman, but. Before I kind of give my overall impression, because if you can't tell, it's not a strong or a positive one. I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Out of the episode that I wanted to hit. So they come in.
Okay, I'm sorry. Before you get those,
mm-hmm.
Do any of them have to do with more comparing this episode to Code of Honor?
No, I'm done with that.
But so I want can you put a pin in your questions just for a second, because I want to talk to you about that just for a sec.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason, and a really good reason, why this episode feels like Code of Honor. It is. It's written by the same person.
Are you kidding me?
Catherine Powers wrote Code of Honor. Came over. This is her first episode writing Stargate. She's gonna write like a dozen or so episodes of Stargate. She's actually going to write some really good episodes of Stargate.
Really?
She literally recycled her script.
Yeah, I was
recycled her story. In many ways, she felt like Code of Honor did not execute her vision of what that show was supposed to be. So like the idea is like this was her like second chance at doing the same story again, but having it done better. Personally, I think they did it better here in this episode than they did over in Next Generation. But I will tell you, just as Code of Honor is generally considered to be the worst episode of Star Trek among the top, if not the absolute worst episode of Star Trek. So is this episode for Stargate.
Really?
So much so, Jeff, that in syndication and reruns, networks will often just skip this episode and pretend like it doesn't exist and go straight on to the next episode.
Wow.
That's how much this episode is not liked or enjoyed. So
I'm curious. I'm curious what you think, because I have a theory here, but I'm curious what you think makes this a better execution of the story than Code of Honor.
Well, one, I think the production is so much better, because I mean, this is like 9 years after Code of Honor was made, maybe 10 years.
10 years, yeah,
after Code of Honor was made. So I think the production is there. I think the story is far more cohesive, far more believable. Albeit you still have to suspend a lot of disbelief for this episode, but still,
yeah.
I think it's much better portrayed. Also, I think, and I think what Catherine Powers was going for was less the racist overtones that Code of Honor went for, and more the feminine empowerment and feminine oppression of cultures throughout history, and how women can rise above that. And I think that's what I think that's where the heart of this episode really was trying to go, was it was really a female empowerment episode in the face of oppression throughout all of history. And I think that was way better done here, because in Code of Honor, while I don't know that the makers meant for it to come out racist, it certainly had a lot of racist overtones and pulled some of that stuff in, and it's generally considered to be that. So I think that it's those two things. The production's better, the story's better, the script is better, but I think it gets more to the heart of what Catherine Powers was wanting out of the episode than what we got with Code of Honor. But I still don't like it. Like, yeah, it still just feels ooey all the way around. And
well, it's interesting because I've got a buddy, Matt Kaplowitz, who has the Trek Untold podcast. Yeah. And I don't know, at the time of this recording about 6 months ago, he interviewed the actor who played Yarina in Code of Honor. And I listened to it. I was fascinated to hear her take. And it was something that speaks to exactly what you were just saying about women empowerment and trying to fight back against oppression. She said that she read the script and they did the acting, did the shoot, and were done. And she felt very proud of what she was able to do, because in the culture that was represented, women were in control. They handled the finances. They made all the big decisions. They owned the property. There was this big thing. And then she even said, she's like, not only did I get to be a woman on TV doing that, I got to be a black woman on TV in that position. And she was really proud of being able to do that. I strongly recommend people going and listening to that episode. So I think what I almost think is, I think that she did a great job in that message in Code of Honor, but we, the viewers, individually and mostly in a group think kind of a way, can't see past the racism in there. And what I understand, urban legends, is that, the actors weren't paid well, weren't necessarily, like, there's a lot of dirty, ugly stuff around that episode. But if you look at the story, I think it was a good job. What I think makes this a better version of Code of Honor, 2 words: Amanda Tapping. She was amazing in this episode. Not only Sam Carter was amazing. The thing during the reaction, we talked about that. Like, she didn't kowtow at all. So strong. Yeah. Encouraging others to stand up. I mean, just amazing. Stood up to everything. And then the second he's like, oh yeah, we can do like a trial by combat. She's like, that's me. I got this. And she totally did. The character was awesome. But Amanda Tapping specifically, her pathos, the eyes, the facial acting that she did, the physical acting was so believable. There was one scene, and I mentioned it in the reaction, but there's one scene where Morishi goes up and I forget his name in this episode. I'm just going to call him Morishi, but he goes up and he holds the knife to her neck and he's like, hey, you need to get in line or I'm going to kill you. And like she kind of turns because, she's got her back to him and she turns and you can see on her face where she's just like, he can't kill me. I'm too valuable. Mm-hmm. So I'm planting my flag. Amanda Tapping is the MVP of this episode. And in my opinion, the only thing that makes it watchable. She was great.
I do not disagree. I love Amanda Tapping. I love the character of Sam Carter. And I love Amanda Tapping playing Sam Carter in every episode.
It's amazing when you think about it. And I think this is a lot. This is TV writing maturity. Like we said, it's a decade after Code of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 3rd/4th episode of the show. Code of Honor was the 3rd or 4th, I think, of first season as well. So
yes, it was.
Real analog here. Sam Carter is exponentially more developed as a character than Tasha Yar ever was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember watching that episode for Starfleet Leadership Academy, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if she dies. She's basically just another, just another face at this point.
To be fair with that, though, Jeff, Denise Crosby was dealing with an ensemble cast of 8 other main top billed actors. Amanda Tapping is dealing with another ensemble cast of 3 other top billed actors.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I do think I made a note on this though too, just the fact like the writers for this do it. I don't know if it's however they do it. I don't know, but they just find these tiny moments. They've done it in all 3 episodes that we've watched so far. It's tiny moments just to have some personal back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It develops a character and develops their relationships.
Yeah.
And which I think is probably just more maturity in TV writing. Like they're better at it than they were in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a couple questions.
Okay.
The first one, so we find out that, or Daniel makes the assumption and we follow it through that these are Mongols that were scooped up. So when the Gould came and took us, the Tauri, and so like the way I envision that in my head right now is like either on a ship or a thing, but they basically have some processing plant of bringing people through where they're like, you can be a god. Okay, over there. You can be a children of the gods over there. You Jaffa, you slave. Like they're kind of parsing people out. And so in my head, they scoop up people from Earth, parse them out. They're getting mixed, whatever. But there's just this planet of Mongols.
Yeah. So what, I
made a lot of assumptions in there.
Yeah. So. you understand there are more Gould out there than just Apophis.
Yes. Like there's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the Gould collectively, not just Apophis, not just Raw, came to Earth, grabbed people, posed as the people of Earth's gods. Okay. And they scooped people up and put them on planets for various reasons. Some of the people went to Abydos because they were mining a mineral out of the Earth that the Stargate's made out of. We don't know why they brought them to this planet, but this is here. So in the story of the show, it's not what you think. It's not, we're going to parse you out and go do a bunch of stuff. They basically, we're going to pick this particular group of people, and the in-universe explanation for what happened to them is they got carried off to another planet. And so what would happen to a particular single tribe of Mongols back from Genghis Khan's day, or maybe even before, if we plucked them out in situ as they were, and then dropped them on another planet? Now fast forward, and it's not an entire world full of people, it's that tribe. And as they've grown and expanded, and how does their offshoot happen? And do they really depart from their culture over the course of millennia, or or at least several hundred years, And so the idea, at least here for the Mongols, and you'll see this come up again, is, oh, this is this culture almost like frozen in time that we get to go visit, but because they've not really advanced. But you did see our medicines are different and way more advanced here, and certain things.
The vegetation, the minerals, like the planets are different.
Some things are different for how they respond. Yeah.
All right, question number 2. So they talked about the demons, right? The demons came and they gave us the law. I'm going to make the assumption those are the Gould.
Yep.
This, and I don't know if this is a question or more of just an observation, but a lot of times if you have some religious kind of backing to why you're doing stuff, there are texts or what, some sort of a something. I would imagine that the symbol Teal'c has on his forehead that is part of the Gould would be a known symbol. Like, I almost think there's a whole other layer to this story of like, oh my God, there's a woman and a demon. Like they're coming back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just a thing I observed that really bothered me, actually.
So just in case this wasn't clear. Now you've asked me not to tell you what that thing is on top of Teal'c's head.
Correct.
Like what it actually is, right? But the symbol itself, we've seen you've seen it on other people's heads, you've seen it in various places. It's Apophysis symbol. It's like Apophysis brand. Like it just this guy was with Apophis.
Okay.
And other Gould have their stamp.
Okay.
They basically stamp onto people.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I was just, I'm like, everybody we saw who was Gould had one,
because we've really only seen Apophis.
Yeah. At this point,
so Apophis and his people, so
here's my big question though. The biggest one of all. Everybody just speaks English.
Yeah. So the show literally just never addresses it. Actually, I take that back. They will address it at some point down the line. You're going to love it when they do address it.
Okay.
Because it's hilarious. But basically the show just, we're not even going to explain it with a universal translator. It's not going to be a thing. Yes, everybody's just going to speak English so we can just move on with the show.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep.
So yeah,
we just all have to acknowledge it and smile and move on.
Be like, okay, that's good. That's what they do.
Welcome to Stargate.
Fair enough. Well, that's my first set of reactions. I'll have a little more to say when we get to the ranking on here. But for your first watch through this new lens, did you catch any good sci-fi messages in this one?
I didn't catch any new ones because it's pretty much what this episode always is. It's what this episode always was about. This is the episode that dives into, and I know I said it during the course of the reaction, this is the prime directive of Star Trek. Like, this is Star Trek's prime directive. This is that idea of how much do you go in and balance honoring and respecting somebody else's culture, regardless of how distasteful it is to you. It is still their culture and it is still very valid, versus when does it cross the line to basic humanity and violating basic human rights? Oh, by the way, who is the one who decides what's basic human rights? So where is that? And Star Trek never gives a great answer to that. Stargate's not going to give a great answer to that. This episode did not give us a great answer to that, but that is a tension that exists between what is the culture and what is humanity. And it's a little easier to talk when it's not humans anymore. It's some alien thing, although these guys actually are human.
They are,
but human. Whatever. But yeah, what is that? So they didn't really, I don't think they really advanced it. I do appreciate the feminist aspect of this, that Sam was, and I don't think I ever thought about it or noticed it before this watch, of just how freaking strong Sam Carter was throughout the course of this episode. She was the one dealing with, she was in the middle of it. She took that backhand from Mortal Kombat dude like a champ.
Yeah.
And she stepped in. She's like, I'm going to fight to the death. I've got this. Yeah. I've had level 3 combat training. And I think Jack, it almost sounds patronizing, but actually I think he legitimately was like patting her on the back going, yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah. You're the real
You
deal.
can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. And
in fact, I would go so far to say, like, it's not patronizing. He is her commanding officer. It's his job to ensure that she's not putting herself into undue risk. And she's like that. He's like, oh no, you're good.
Oh, you got level 3. We're fine. And at that point, like, I kind of want Jack just to turn around and be like, yeah, these guys have no idea what she's about to get into. If she's got level 3, then we're good.
Yeah,
I'm
this will be fun to watch.
Yeah. Right. And I really interpret Jack's reaction like that. I can see how people would look at it and think that he's making fun of her, or he's looking down on her, not really believing, letting it be patronizing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end, there's the whole piece where the women rip off the mask because of the effect of Sam being on that planet. And I was really even reminded again of the Star Trek, the Mirror Mirror universe, the Mirror Mirror episode from Star Trek, where by interacting with people from the other side, it began to change how things happened. Now, in the Mirror universe, it didn't go so well, but still just that idea of being interactive with each other and how that can help advance the cause. I loved, though, I've talked a lot about Star Trek. Let me talk about Babylon 5, though. I never noticed Muta-do guy who came in. And he says very early, he's like, one day our ways will no longer serve us. We've got to get, like, he's aware of, like, here's the law. This is how it is. Yeah, we've got to change this. This is not working for us. And this is not going to work for us very long. There was an episode of Babylon 5 where we met people like that. And Jeff, you probably know which one it is off the top of your head. And I can't think of the.
Are you thinking of the Lumati?
No. Maybe it wasn't Babylon 5. Maybe was it an episode of Voyager? I don't know. It's
Dude,
all
you just fired up. You fired up a whole fan community mixing up Voyager and Babylon 5.
Oh, was it Star Trek? Was it even Star Trek or Babylon? I don't know. There is an episode. Actually, I feel like I've seen this in multiple episodes, Jeff.
Probably.
Where, like, this is the way it is, and there's somebody who's coming who was like, yeah, this has been the way it is, and if we don't change this, we as a culture are going to die. But I don't know how to change it. Like, I'm leading this. I know we have to change this, but if we don't change this, we are going to die as a culture. Was that not Voyager?
I think it's a lot lot of shows. I think that is a pretty common episode.
Okay, thank you. Because it's that, just that general awareness, right? So
we just lost a ton of cred, by the way. Like, we can't. But
I can hear it in my head. I just cannot put my finger on which one I'm thinking of.
Because I think it's in so many series.
I will say this, though. I did think it was a very interesting compare and contrast between Jack's response and Daniel's response. And this is going to be something that's a theme throughout the course of the show, so probably going to get tired of saying it again and again and again, but I'll address it here. Jack's response to Sam being taken, this is an act of war. I don't care what these people's culture are. I'm going to go get my girl. I'm getting my crewman. I'm getting my airman. I'm getting my teammate. Yeah. Daniel goes, hey, this is a cultural thing and we have to respect that. And again, it goes back to managing that tension because those two things are diametrically opposed. So that being said, Jeff, the themes were there. This literally was a Star Trek episode. It literally was a Star Trek episode chock full of that idea of where is the balance between culture and humanity. But it didn't even pose a question and then leave it to you to answer. Like it did it so messily. Like it just, hey, yeah, here's this tension and we're not gonna discuss it. We're not going to explore it. It's just, there's the tension and let's get out of it.
Yeah. You said a thing earlier that I really liked, and it's controversial, I think. Who gets to define humanity?
Right.
So I made a note that I don't know at what point, I didn't take a lot of notes on this one, but I just said this is feeling more and more paint by numbers, a clash of cultures, ours versus theirs, and ours is always superior.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it, it's a story where we've defined humanity in a way, they have defined humanity in a way, and we're coming in and being like, yeah, that's you can't do that.
You
That is
can't treat
wrong.
women like that.
Yeah, you cannot.
Women
do it.
are people and agents, and
but they're like, we can and we do, and we have for a long time. Like,
and it's the law, and you're here in our place.
This is how we roll. Now, it's our culture and it's our place, and it's my belief, right, that that's correct. Women have agency, men have agency. We're all amazing humans, all of that. But it's just what this episode basically did was say, hey, our culture is better than this other culture, and they need to adopt our ways.
They need to get on our level. Is basically what it said. Yeah, and it's kind of gross, to be honest. But there is a question, Jeff. At what point do we say to hell with respecting culture? This is basic human rights, and I'm going to call it out, Jeff. Let's talk. I'm going to call it out, and then I'm going to leave it hanging out there, just like the show did. All right, right here on Earth, there are countries in this world right now where women are not allowed to show their face outside. Is that right or wrong? Is that oppressive? Or is that their culture?
Or is their culture oppressive and based on whose standards?
But is okay, let's say yes, the culture is oppressive. Is it wrong? Is it wrong?
What's wrong?
Who says that it's wrong?
It's very right to them. You know, not too long ago, the time we record this in Iran, there was an incredible outcry from women. They were wearing Western clothing. They were showing their faces, and hundreds, if not more, were slaughtered. I mean, just what we in the West would say in an inhumane manner. But the people in power who are part of, you know, those laws these are not new laws for them.
Yeah.
They truly believe they were justified in doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's so easy. And I want to be really clear personally that I believe, based on my culture and my lens and my upbringing and my biases, that it is wrong to treat women that way. Period. It is even more wrong to slaughter them for standing up for themselves. But saying that, there's somebody over there who can say the exact same thing I did based on my upbringing, my values, my beliefs, my culture. I believe that slaughtering them is the right thing.
So bring it back to this episode. Why were the women not allowed to show their face? Why were the women not allowed to talk? What was the reason they gave? Now you can do all the subverting reasons, to keep men in power. You could do that, but they actually gave a reason, because it's to keep the women safe. That's what they said in the episode. We do this to keep the women safe. We do this so people don't come steal our women. We do this because, you know, listen, this is not universally true. Anatomically, physically, generally speaking, the males of the human species are bigger and stronger, and the females are not as big and tend to not be as strong. That is, I am not making that as a stereotypical ubiquitous statement to cover everybody. I'm making an overgeneralization. That is the makeup of the human race. To protect and throughout all of human history, there is, again, an overgeneralization I'm saying here. The man's job is to protect. You know, their reasoning for that, at least that they tell themselves. Let me just put it that way. I'm not saying it's a good reason. I'm not saying I buy the reason. I'm just saying the reason they gave, the reason, and for them in their mind, it actually is not good to let a woman go like that, because it's a danger to her and to society and whatnot. Now that sounds that sounds like BS just coming out of my own mouth.
Right.
Okay. It just does. But to them, in their culture, it actually makes perfect sense. Like, it's that whole deal. And, you know,
we've talked, you and I, a couple times about the concept of basic human rights.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a profound moment in global history when in America, I think it was in the Declaration of Independence where we said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, and, you know, laid everything out, the basic human rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which was originally the pursuit of property. But that was a profound moment because we basically said there are basic human rights across the board. And America specifically has been, I'll just say, involved, whether it's over or under involved. I'll leave that to people's individual perceptions, but in global affairs, because we believe that every human has a right, you know, basic human rights. But even now, to your point, there are cultures that disagree with that. The way that we move forward as a society, as a world, as a galaxy, is agreeing on those basic rights that exist for every person, regardless of nationality, creed, gender, who they love, whatever. It is completely irrelevant. Just you are a living, sentient being, so you have these rights, period. In the absence of that,
you suck air, and so you're valuable.
Yeah. You're here for a reason. You matter.
You matter because you exist.
Period. And then we make our decisions there. In the absence of that, we get this culture clash. My culture is better than your culture, and we will kill people because of it.
Which, can I just say that, Jeff, you said not too long ago over on our Babylon 5 show, and you caught some flack for this, but I'm going to stand by you. If you look at the actual teachings of the major religions of the world, right? I'm not saying man's interpretation or what people have done to pervert those teachings. I'm saying if you look at the actual teachings, the major religions of the world promote love and respect for humans.
Togetherness.
It is so ironic that the vast majority of human rights violations throughout all of history has been perpetrated and justified based on those religions.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
You know what I mean? When those religions actually, like, if you look and go, actually the most Christian thing or the most Muslim thing or the most whatever, I'm going to stop naming them all because I'm going to miss one. The most thing it is to actually uphold the value of the individual just for existing.
Yeah.
Because we care about you. We think you are valuable. You matter just because you exist.
I hope that you don't catch even an iota of the flack I caught. That was quite the torrent. And what I will say, I'm gonna step on it too. I thought it was fascinating that I could put out what I'm going to say is an objective fact that the teachings of these religions do not espouse hate, yet a veritable fire hose of hate was pointed at me for saying that, because a lot of other people have done really, really bad things. And it's like, we got to separate the people from the teaching.
But they've also perverted the teaching to go, oh, look at this right here. This means hate. And you go, actually, that's not what that is. Or that's a specific thing taken out of context, or that's a specific example that is not actually the espousal of this particular religion.
Yeah, you take any scripture, take most any movie, any song, any stand-up comedy routine, and you take 2 lines out of that.
Pull it out of
and
context.
And you can make that
whatever you
person
want.
be horrible.
Yeah.
You look a couple lines above and beyond, and they're like, oh.
Yeah. I can take 2 stat lines and I can show you why Tom Brady was the worst quarterback in NFL history.
And objectively correct. I was just saying, I love that numbers are amazing because numbers never lie. But you can make numbers say whatever you want them to.
Jeff, I'm going to do it. Let's go for the trifecta as we enter officially our longest episode on what is considered the worst episode of Stargate.
Right.
So we've talked about religion.
Yep.
All right. The show talks a lot about money. I'm going to talk about politics right now.
Here we go.
It is the most, and we're about to enter into a huge political cycle as we record this here in America. It is absolutely hilarious to me when you listen to one side, usually the incumbent side, talk about here's all the things that we've accomplished. Here's all the good things we have done, the things we have had happen. And if you go through that list, that's good. That's good. You actually did that. That's true. Not a lie. Yes, you did that. Yes, you did that. Yes, you did that. Yes, you did that. Aren't I the best person ever? The opposition side will go, here's all the things that they've done that's awful. They've done this and they've done this and they've done this and they've done this and this resulted in that and this resulted in that. And you know what? If you look down the list of all of those things, also all true, this is the worst person to ever be president of the United States of America ever. How could you ever get them back in? Like you put the 2 side by side. Both are true. And both it's a chosen set of facts to promote one way or the other. Like, don't fall for it, folks. Just listen.
We fall for it every 4 years. It just keeps happening.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Time and again. All right. We're going to get off this horse. Brent.
Yes.
This was an incredible conversation. Hopefully some people have enjoyed it and we haven't alienated everyone.
I hope this conversation was better than the episode itself.
We'll get to that. You, sir, have a job right now, taking everything we just discussed. You need to wrap this up. You're going to rate this episode on a scale of 0 to 5 chevrons as to how strong the sci-fi message was. Not how strong our conversation about it was, but how strong the sci-fi messages were.
Jeff, I'm gonna give this one a 1 to 1.5, a 1.25 chevron. Do we do partial chevrons here?
Dude, we can do whatever we want.
It's our show. Yeah, we do it. Yeah. I'm gonna give it 1.25. Here's the deal. This show set up the classic sci-fi question. The difference between when do we respect culture and when do we insert ourselves and say, screw culture, this is right and wrong. Right? It's set up that this is a question that sci-fi is uniquely positioned to answer more so than any other genre out there. This is a question Star Trek loves to delve into. This is a question we've seen Babylon 5 dive into. This is a question we've seen Battlestar Galactica dive into. It's a question we're seeing Stargate dive into. And Stargate will continue to dive into this question because they're going to come up against lots of different cultures over the course of the show. It didn't do anything with it, though. It didn't do anything with it. It threw the question out there, and then it didn't make an argument one way or the other. It really didn't. Like, a lot of times when you see something like this happen, Star Trek especially, they'll present an issue, a morally ambiguous issue, and they'll have one person on one side and one person on the other side, and they either may give you the answer at the end or they may not give you the answer and let you as a viewer have to deal with it. Right? They didn't do that. They presented the argument and then went and had a fight. We saw Sam get slapped around a bit. So yeah, the most I can do is like 1. I can maybe go a little over 1 because it is such a classic Star Trek sci-fi thing, but they didn't do anything with it. So 1.25 ish.
That's fair.
That's fair. I did chevrons. I rated it. You get to rank it, my friend. I dare say I don't even really need to ask, but we'll go through the thing. Our current ranking is in order of the episode so far. Number 1 is Children of the Gods. Number 2 is Enemy Within. Jeff, we do have 21 episodes this season if we're counting Children of the Gods as a single episode. Where do you rank Emancipation?
It's number 3. I'm not going to mince words, but I want to say, like, you had mentioned.
I'm surprised by that, by the way.
Or you thought I was going to pull an Avalon?
Yeah, I thought, well, because I don't know, we didn't even do that for Avalon. I think we did Long Dark, right?
Long Dark, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not there. This wasn't offensive. It just wasn't good.
Fair enough.
You know, but I think, and this is going to be one of the challenges I just have to work through. You had said earlier that a lot of, networks and stuff will just skip. They won't even show it in syndication. Don't even bring it up. What I got to work through is this isn't serialized. There's going to be a lot of just, here's the planet of the week. We're going to go work a story, and then some character stuff is going to overarch. So there'll probably be a lot of episodes that are, I didn't need to see this one. Didn't need it. This is the first episode where, like, I didn't need to see it. I got no new information out of this one. There's a teensy bit of character development, but if I never saw this one, I think it wouldn't have made any difference for me.
Yeah. Jeff, I do want to encourage you with rankings, if I may. Really base those more on sheer enjoyment of the episode.
Totally. Yeah. That's literally my only real measure for the ranking. Just on this one, like, this just wasn't a good episode.
If you put it up there and go, all right, would I rather watch this episode or this episode again first? This is still at the bottom.
Well, and to steal one of yours, if I was folding laundry and this came on, I would stop folding laundry, grab the remote, and I'd change the channel.
There you go. Well, Jeff, that's going to do it for Emancipation. We're going to put a pin in it and stop talking about this episode finally. Next week, Jeff, we are watching an episode called, I'm curious if you know what this is, because this is actually a real thing. We're watching an episode called The Broca Divide. Do you care to, you don't have to make a prediction, but do you care to venture a guess as to what this episode could possibly be about? What's going to happen?
Will you spell Broca for me?
BROCA.
So it's like the language center in the brain, right?
Okay.
So one of two things.
Okay.
This is either going to be Darmok, where they're going to go somewhere and language center of the brain, there's going to be a divide. They have to figure out a way to communicate. Like my whole thing of why do they just speak English is going to get put to the test.
Okay.
Your answer to that question, though, tells me it doesn't really come up very much. So maybe not that one. What it might be, though, is Deep Space Nine's Babel, where they all like their words got all messed up. So someone's like, there's going to be something's going to be on the planet they go to. It's going to mess with their language processing center and gobbledybroken leg drumstick with a monitor and looking at the water.
You're a good guesser, Jeff. Good guesser. But we'll see if you're actually right here next time on Stargate SG-1 for the first time. Hey, folks out there, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Apple Podcast, Podchaser, Good Pods, Podcast Addict, Spotify. Maybe you're actually a YouTube podcast person. Maybe you're wherever it is. Please, while you're there, if at all possible, leave us a rating and a review and share this podcast with someone that loves Stargate SG-1, or maybe somebody who's never seen it before and they are in the process of falling in love. They're just joining us along for the journey.
Hey, Brent.
Oh, okay, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I think I need to get out of here. I'm feeling quite a bit of the madness right now, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, for crying out loud. Did we have any crying out louds in this episode? I didn't notice any.
Nope, I didn't. Yeah. I keep kind of paying attention for things other people say also for it, but
no. All right.
Yeah, we spent a lot longer on this one than I thought. I think
it always goes this way, Jeff. The episodes that you think you're just gonna be like, there's nothing here, you wind up, you know what it is? Because I think you spend so much time talking about how there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying? It happens all the time.
I took so like yesterday I had almost a full page of notes. Yeah. Did I say yesterday? Jeez, man.
The days run together. The days run together, Jeff.
Swear to God. Whenever it was we watched that last episode, I had like a full page of notes. I have like 5 notes on this one. So yeah. But here we are.
I believe it. I believe it. So Broken Divide. I always want to like kind of give you my own personal take on Broken Divide, like without spoilers, but then I always feel like I'm gonna influence you. So I don't want to talk about it, but I want to be like, hey, so here was this episode. This next one, either here's a warning or like, actually, I'm kind of excited for you to watch this episode. Or if you thought this one was bad, wait for this one.
I'm glad you didn't say, like, for this one, I'm glad you didn't say anything because it was like my journey was very much like, oh, I'm interested. I'm taking notes on like, ooh, people of the steep, people of the river.
Oh, this is cool. This is cool. And then at one point you look up and you go, oh, I've seen this episode before. Oh.
And then I'm like, I'm done taking notes. There's nothing.
I know
nothing to see here. Move along. Move along.
Oh, yeah. All that stuff they just talked about actually is not what this episode's about, and it doesn't really matter.
And I think that journey is important. Like if you were to say, oh man, the Broca Divide, it's coming, it's a good one, but maybe I watch it, I'm just like, it's good. It's supposed to be good. Why isn't it good?
But I say this is where I go back to my time going through Beam Me Up with Matt. Is I would be, Matt, this is like a great episode. I can't wait for you to watch it. And you come back on the other side and be like, yeah, it's okay. So I want to let you have your true first time experience and let you form your own opinion. And then we can talk about it at the end. And I can tell you, actually, yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes to watch, or this is a guilty pleasure. It's not great, but I like watching, or this is an awful episode. I skip it every time we go through the.
Sorry, I made you watch it. Like,
yeah. I should have given you a heads up. Like,
well, and that's the thing too for people to know. I think is good is that, gosh, we really talked a lot about how to do this series. Just really because
between
of the sheer,
you and me, yeah. We talked a lot.
Just the sheer volume of material that's out there.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time, and we had ideas of doing 2 episodes per recording, doing the Beam Me Up treatment where just pulling the essential episodes and doing stuff. And I'm the one who really made the call of just like, dude, I want to watch every episode.
You said I want to see every episode, and I went, okay.
Like, so we're doing this for 10 years.
I have no qualms with that. Just I hope you can stay the course. Don't pull a Ken Ray on me here, Jeff.
Right. Yeah. I gotta. Yeah.
No offense to Norman. Norman, we love you. You're amazing.
Well, that's another great example of what's in this episode. Hey, here's a good thing, and Ken's great, Norm's great, but we had to lose Ken to get Norm, and
right. Yeah, I don't know. So if we lost you, who would come in? Oh, and they'd be better than you.
Probably. And I don't think that's a very high bar. You just need to find someone to sit here and go, oh, did they say the thing? Is that his tattoo? What is that?
Jeff, as far as I'm concerned, you're irreplaceable, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. Speaking of irreplaceable.
You know what's irreplaceable?
Sleep.
Yes, because you know what? That dog's going to wake me up in the morning regardless of what time I walk downstairs.
I don't even know what day it is. Like,
listen, I love the dog. I love the puppy. She's great, but it does not matter what time I go to bed. That dog is up and ready to go. And you know what? Once I have to get up and let the dog out, you know what? I'm up.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it's time to get out of here. Thanks guys so much. This is not our longest episode yet, but for sure on a single episode.
For a single episode. Yeah, the other one was a 2-parter.
I'm really curious, Jeff, for the YouTube cut, when we cut down the reaction piece, how short this one gets.
It's going to be pretty short.
Well, for the reaction part, but then like the whole episode is still going to be.
Yeah, that's all I was talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually have my work cut out for me on the audio side. Those last 2 have been a breeze.
Right. There's a few things to cut on this. All right. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Oh my God. We're going to get out of here. You guys, the YouTube people are like, yeah, they've already tuned out. What? Why are you still here?